Arguably, Africa's not a continent, but a country. Ever hear someone refer to African food or African art or even African language? Such individuals have no idea that Africa is the second largest continent in the world. Instead, they view it as a tiny country with no distinct traditions, cultures, or ethnic groups. If you turn to popular culture for images of people on the African continent, you're likely to notice a pattern. Time and again, Africans are depicted as if they're one and the same.
Africa is one.
Always being happy? Yes.
The African time. That's
people are fighting against each other in the streets, basically.
Many myths about Africa date way back centuries.
There is a lot about the structures, about a lot of the colonial structures that I think is really hard, because I think it's really, it's just sad that it is like that some people are supposed to be better.
Africa is kind of a mystic thing. No one really knew. I mean, that, you know, the public thing is like, oh yeah, it's like far away, you never meet them. So that was kind of an unknown thing. That was, I think, the major thing. And then they had some stereotypes, like things like, oh, you know, like it's so hot in Africa, people don't work, they are lazy because they cannot work in the sun. These kind of sentences were also there. Yeah, and let me see what else. They have a lot of children. That is also one stereotype they, like, in Germany, people think. What else? They have a lot of diseases, like the HIV, the malaria. I think that was one of the major things people told me when I told them I will go to Uganda. People were like, oh, you have to be so careful, they have so many diseases there. So yeah, I think people think, oh, maybe Africans are sick all the time because they have all these diseases, yeah.
While the continent of Africa faces enormous challenges, not every African is in need, nor is every African nation in crisis.
I know there is a reason why stereotypes exist. Some point in the world they appeared because of some event. So they are not totally nonsense. They have some history, but I always have the view, okay, it's history. It happened maybe someday, or it was like that someday, but it doesn't mean anything for the present. The present is something I have to observe myself. So what I just do is I collect the experiences, and then I'm open for every new experience, because that's the way how life is. I mean, people are all different, and in every country we can find all kinds of people, all kinds of behavior. And yeah, so I think I have just my personal strong view that I established before I came here, and this helped me to not form the stereotypes and to not be like, yeah, let's say, closed for new experiences.
At first I just try to observe, and not only one person, because we all differ. So I think that I have to look at many people to understand how things are here and how people are here. So that one. And then trying to understand, because I realized that I have some concepts in my mind, like this is wrong and this is right, but I don't even know why I think this is wrong and this is right. And these concepts that I have in my mind are like lenses through which I see the world. If I try to take off these lenses and see the world without these concepts, or maybe asking people, why do you do that? That might help. Just asking, of course, in a very polite way, and making people understand that you are just curious, you are ignorant. Actually, I am describing myself here like a child. I think that you have to go back to your childhood when you were asking your parents, why this, why that? And in this case, people from Uganda are my parents, and they can explain me if I don't understand, and I ask why.
American black civil rights activist Malcolm X, before his assassination in 1965, noted that Western-generated stereotyping had the effect of distancing themselves from the continent.
I can see that in Germany, the stereotypes are being created by media. And not only that, everything is created by media. A lot of fear is created by media. And the media basically control the people and how they think. So I was also reading news for some time, but then at some point I just stopped because I realized I don't remember what I was reading 1 hour later. And also I was realizing it just makes me afraid of the world, whatever I read. And that's not how I want to be. And I know it's only half the truth. So I think if we have good media that show like people what they really think and not just trying to cover half of it, that would help people to overcome stereotypes and to be open-minded. Because yeah, the media, I think, is a lot about creating fear. But if we have media that encourages people, we will have people that want to go out, be brave and see things, meet people. That will really help.
I can tell you of an incident actually quite a few years ago when I was staying here in Kampala. I was here on my own to do a reporting job, and I stayed in a hotel on the outskirts of Kampala, and I had a meeting at night some distance away, and I chose to walk, and I felt a little bit nervous, but the one incredible thing was every block somebody came to me and said, "Good evening, you're so welcome, please feel safe here in our city," and that's enormously positive.
Culture stereotype is a serious volunteer management and exchange issue, and one that all of us need to address. We can do that by supporting agencies that work on behalf of volunteers and by making sure that we know the signs of culture stereotypes and what to do about it.
So when they come here, we teach them on how to work in a limited resource setup, which normally, sometimes it's a challenge to many, but when they get used, they enjoy it. Because what I have to tell them normally is, Africa may not have so much, but we are more relational. You know, because of the relationship, because with you, you are able to adapt and to enjoy your stay in the project and the country. So their presence has been so beneficial. We haven't found problems with them in terms of adapting, because you clearly stipulate it out, what we have and what we don't have. They are not used to road shading, but I tell them there is road shading. We don't have showers. Learn how to use a jerry can, and that's a fact in life. So before they set off from their countries to come here, psychologically they have been tamed to understand who we are as Africa. They will never ask me for what we don't have.
Gaga.